Go to recyclerightTN.com.
Recycle Right Tennessee.
It's Christmas time in Murfreesboro. Adams Place Senior Living Community hopes that you receive the best gift of all this Christmas, spending quality time with those that you love most. Take plenty of pictures, have lots of belly laughs, and always go in for one more hug. Here's to making precious memories this season that you and your family will cherish for a lifetime. I'm Terry Deal, wishing you a very Merry Christmas from Adams Place.
The Wake Up Crow, weekday mornings, 6 to 7:50.
WGNS, your good neighbor station.
Rutherford County's place to talk. We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in to the Wednesday Roundtable. Chip Waltz from Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, and the Blue Raider Network. And it's always fun to have old friends on the show and talk about some fun stuff. And a year ago about this time, Tommy West, the former head coach at Chattanooga, Memphis, Clemson, and longtime defensive line coach at MTSU, joined me. We talked about the playoffs and bowl games and just had a big time. And so thought today's a perfect day to do that. Tommy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me on.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, what in the world is going on in college football? Can you get your arms around it these days?
No, I can't. I'm probably not the right guy to ask that because I'm pretty negative about it right now. I've spent 42 years in college football. I love the game. I think it's the greatest game there is, but it's broken right now. I don't know how we got where we are. I don't know who to blame when I look back, and I want to blame the NCAA, but I don't think anybody's paying any attention to them anymore.
Yeah.
So how we got to a point, how we got here, I don't know. But we got to fix some things. I mean, there's just so many with coaches leaving before the season's over. I get the playoff deal. I mean, I get that somebody's going to be upset every year. I get that. That's
Right.
going to happen.
Right.
But I don't understand why we can't get to 12 best teams or the 16 best teams.
Yeah.
If you're ranked in the top 12, then you should be in the playoff. If you're not, you shouldn't be in the playoff. So anyway, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
It's a great game. It's still a great game.
It's probably – the talent has probably never been at a higher level.
I think it's the best it's ever been.
Yeah, especially the skill players.
The speed of the game, the strength of the game, the power in the game, the toughness in the game, coaching in the game. I mean, it's probably as good as it's ever been overall. But there's just so many things that are negative right now that we got to get fixed. And we got to. The thing that bothers me is we got an unbelievable role model. We got the NFL. Right above us that has been doing this for a long period of time and has made adjustments to their game, and but I really believe there's a certain faction that doesn't want it to be. You know, the NFL is the best at creating equality.
There's
they're
no
going to
doubt.
keep their teams fairly close. Anybody can beat anybody there, but I think in college right now there's a lot of them that don't want that.
Don't want that.
No, they don't want that. So. We'll see where it goes, but man, I hope they can get it fixed.
Well, and we're going and I want to spend a few minutes just kind of talking about some of the issues, and then we'll dive into the playoffs and celebrate the teams that are there, and also the other bowl games, because me personally, and you and I have lived through this. There's so many, you hear people say, or you read their comments, there's too many bowl games or blah, 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 blah. Well, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. And
That's right.
But
That's
I
right.
promise you, for the kids and the coaches and the staffs that get to go to those games and play in them, it sure means a lot to them.
I'll give you a great example. Bill Curry, we all remember Coach Curry.
That's right.
We played when I was at Memphis, and we went to the New Orleans Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first bowl game in 32 years for them. And Bill Curry talked to me after the game, and he had done it
He was on TV.
He was the
Yeah.
announcer, yes. And he said, I have been an advocate to cut back on bowls and that we have too many, and a lot of teams maybe aren't deserving of being. And he said, but after your game and watching those fans of yours, he said, I could never say that again because this was unbelievable. And I said, I'll tell you what, Coach, there won't be 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from that day, they were playing the national championship in the Superdome. And I said, there won't be any more excitement in their fans than there are in ours right now. He said,
Right.
I'm with you. He said, I'm for
Well, I
you.
mean, the same thing here in 09 when we went to New Orleans. That
Yeah,
was
I remember.
that was a huge
I remember.
deal, and went down there and beat Southern Miss, and the other bowl trips after that, whether it was the Bahamas or Hawaii, and the couple with the Mobile was a great trip, and in those cities, rolled out the red carpet, made the kids feel special, and I still think there's a place for that.
Yeah, I mean, people ask me all the time, what's your favorite bowl? What's the best bowl you've ever been to? I said, they're all good.
Yeah,
I've never been to a
had
bad bowl.
one. Never had a bad experience.
I never went anywhere where I thought, boy, I'd be glad when this is over with.
Yeah, so you think, oh my God. Well, the first one we went to here, we went to Detroit, and it was on. I'm trying to think what day it was on. It was the day after Christmas, something like that. That one, there was not a lot of hoopla around it. Although once you got to the stadium at Ford Field and all that,
Right.
it was pretty nice. But and I remember a freezing night down in Montgomery, Alabama. But that turned out to be a great game, and
It was a
everybody
great game.
had a lot of fun, and it was cold as heck. But it was. But
Yes, it was.
sometimes you're just going to get that, and and you think back, and people remember. People remember things from the past because whether they gripe about them or not, here starting this weekend, they're going to sit down and they're going to watch parts of a bunch of these bowl games. People will always remember the Texas A&M Mississippi State bowl in Shreveport where it snowed.
Yeah.
And because they were sitting there watching that. Or they'll remember one of the crazy holiday bowls from, when Robbie Bosco did something back in the day. But, that's just, what we do. But, the bowl games are there, and there's, a lot of folks are getting, they're getting rewarded for that. Now, you had the playoff selections. We've got bowl games, and one guy I want to single out here is Clark Lee. He, you've had all these people saying, well, they didn't make the playoffs, we're not going to go to a bowl.
Right.
Notre Dame's catching a lot of flack right now.
And should.
And because of that, Clark Lee may have come up with the template of how you're supposed to handle that.
Because that's Clark Lee. I mean, that's who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame, to me, I mean, if it doesn't go my way, I'll take my ball and go home.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. You beating the system. I mean, you're part of the problem. To me, Notre Dame's part of the problem right now. And I said before, I understand that there was going to be somebody upset. I get
I don't care
that.
if you put 36 in there. Number 37 is going to be mad.
Absolutely, there's going to be some, but they're not going to take their ball and go home. I mean, they're going to respect the game and
Right.
respect college football enough. They're not just going to jump out of it. No, Clark Lee, class guy. His comments were nothing but class, and he's been that way the whole time. And that's why he's done almost the impossible at Vanderbilt. I mean, to me, it's amazing what he's done.
Well, you were part of the group that tried to put together a plan 2 years ago to control Diego Pavia when he was at New Mexico State, and he only scored 13 points that day.
Which we were tickled to death. We thought we did a heck of a job.
Exactly.
We were patting ourselves on the back when we left. Unbelievable player. Just I was shocked at how short he is. When we got out
right.
there, I mean, he's a 5'9". He may say he's 5'10". I don't think he's 5'10". He's 5'9". But man, he is a dynamic, tough son of a gun that just makes plays. And I think he's as. I loved watching. I've got certain quarterbacks that I loved to watch in college. They weren't great pro guys, but Danny Werfel I loved watching. I just thought at Florida he was great. Won the Heisman, of course. Manziel was about as fun to watch as anybody. And now this guy, now Diego Pavia, is about as fun just to watch play, whether you pull for Vanderbilt or not. He's about as fun to watch as anybody.
Yeah,
and then the other guy on defense now, Zaylen Wood, had a heck of a year for Vandy this year on the defensive line.
Yeah, and after playing here and the offensive lineman at Georgia Tech,
Keelan Rutledge.
Yeah, Keelan Rutledge has been, every time they're on TV, they're talking about him.
He's their best offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And Quindarius Dunnigan is captain at Michigan State. Was one of their captains this year. So, we've had some guys do really well. Yeah,
absolutely. We talked about the issues that are going on in college football, and the one that seems to be the there's a bunch of them, but they talk, with coaches leaving, players holding out of bowl games, all that kind of stuff. What we hear is they say, well, the calendar needs to be revamped, and they've done a little bit of that by moving to have just one portal window that'll come up in January, but it's taken the emphasis off of what used to be the February signing date, and now December has become kind of the high school signing day.
Exactly.
and then you have the portal, but what are the problems with the calendar, and what in your opinion could be done to alleviate some of the issues that it's causing?
See, I don't have a problem with the calendar as far as when we're playing these games and the playoff games going further. I saw where the guy at Texas Tech said that he didn't like playing in the second semester, and I don't really have a problem with that, because we can't sit here and say that we're making every decision based on what's best for the player, because that's not what we're doing. We're making every decision.
That left a long time ago.
That train pulled out. No, we're making decisions based on how we can make the most money. I mean, we all know that. The portal deal is the calendar there to me. It can't be during a season. To me, it can't be. You can't have a portal where they can opt into the portal and then not play in a bowl game. I just don't. In the NFL, you can't leave before the season, before your team is finished playing.
That's right.
And
you can't talk to coaches before.
Well, coaches have a certain time that they can be talked to, and we got to get some rules that way. I personally, with the portal, I think the portal should be after spring ball. To me, now the problem with that is, how do you know who to recruit and who not to recruit?
Right.
So, and everybody goes, well, that's not a good time. Well, there's not a good time.
Yeah.
To be honest, you've signed all these high school kids, or what you thought was a full complement of high school players, and then now you have 12 guys leave into the portal. So now you got to go try to replace them somehow. Yeah. It's just a mess right now until we can sit down and put some rules. I wish they would say freshmen can't. You have to stay at least a year and a half. You have to stay 2 seasons as a freshman. You can't just bolt.
That would be almost like the rookie contract in the NFL.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And that way, that'll stop some of it. Yeah. And then they have to be under contract. And they have to be, if you break the contract, you owe the contract. You pay it back.
Yeah.
We have to do something to stop. Just I'll get my money and leave. I'll take my money and leave.
And I was talking to Derek Mason about it one day, and how in middle is not at a huge NIL level by any stretch, but he did say that in those agreements that they have with players, that it says you will play in any postseason play, and so I think they've got to do that.
I think so. It's just nuts. I guess McCaffrey is the one that started opting out. He opted out, and everybody was like, well, he's going to be a first-round pick. He's going to be a top 10 pick, but at some point in time, you have to honor a commitment. There's still some integrity that you finish what you start. I know my dad always said, no, you're going to finish it, whether you like it or not. And to me, that should enter in at some point in time.
Would it help to have a commissioner of college football, much like the NFL commissioner or something like that. And there's been a lot of talk about either Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Another guy I think who would be fantastic would be Rick Neuheisel.
Yeah.
And in particular, Neuheisel really has a love for all levels of football, and I think Coach Saban has that respect too.
I think so. I think Coach Saban would do an unbelievable job at that. I do believe, and this started way back in the 80s. At one time, Georgia, Oklahoma, some teams started talking about breaking away from the NCAA and forming their own. And to me, we've got the Power Four, and if that's what it is, then the Power Four should be the Power Four. And those teams, and that's the college football playoff that we know it now. It's the Power Four.
Yeah.
And
so with that, are you saying like the group of five?
They can have their own playoff.
Have a different playoff.
Absolutely.
So,
but
there is a part of that where they say, well, we fought so long for a seat at the table.
They're not good. Yeah, but they want a piece of the pie.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah,
because it's money. I get that, but I just don't. And shoot, I mean, I was at Memphis for a long period of time. I was here for 10 years. I was at Memphis for 10 years. I understand that. I understand the fights and everything that goes on, but I just don't think that. I think the Power Four should be the Power Four.
Right. Okay. And so that right now that's what you've kind of got with that, and and then you had the this past weekend all the everybody was waiting to see how the playoffs were going to come out. Before we get into the actual matchups, anything surprise you out of that of how the committee put it all together?
No, I mean it is what it is right now. Again, I mean I just don't. If we're going to have 12 teams, I know I'm being a little bit redundant, but we ought to have the 12 best teams. That's my problem with it right now.
Yeah.
You want to play? I mean, okay, I get Tulane. I understand that.
Yeah.
And they're going to play Ole Miss that they got beat by 35 points. They got beat 45-10 early in the season by Ole Miss, and now here we are
going back
what we're calling a college football playoff, and then we got Oregon and Madison, who I think Oregon's a 27.5, 28-point favorite in the game, and that's our playoff. I mean, to me, it's just a little bit construed. I again, if you're in the top 12, if you're one of the top, and I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
If you're Austin Peay or if you're middle or whoever you are, and if you're in that top 12. Then by George, you ought to be in that playoff.
Right.
If you're not in the top 12, then I don't want to get
political. Go to a bowl game.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and what's wrong with that?
Exactly.
What's wrong with that?
There you go.
Other than you don't get as much money.
That's exactly right. All right, Tommy West is our guest, and we're off to a good start. We're going to dive into the playoff matchups and the bowl game matchups when we come back. You're listening to the Roundtable on WGNS.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Sign-ups are going on right now for First Shot's Winter Basketball League in Rutherford County. Coach Andy Herzer guides kids to sharpen basketball skills and build teamwork through exciting clinics and games. Since 2003, First Shot has empowered youth to grow in mind, spirit, and body. Don't miss out. Join the fun and develop lifelong skills. Visit firstshottn.org today and register for the Winter Basketball League. That's firstshottn.org.
Hello, I'm Adam Tipton with Farm Bureau Insurance. For over 75 years, Farm Bureau Insurance has proudly served Rutherford County, helping protect what matters most to our neighbors. If you're new to the area or just new to us, please give us a chance to earn your business. Give us a call at 615-893-1213 or visit us at 818 South Church Street in Murfreesboro. Our agents and staff are ready to serve you. From our team to your family, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, AmeriCare Pest Control, and Old National Bank.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. My team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. We've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
WGNS encourages you to shop our local mom and pop businesses, especially this time of the year. Don't forget, this Sunday is the Murfreesboro Christmas Parade. It starts at 2 o'clock, goes down East Main, around the square, and on to West Main. The theme of the parade, A Sweet Christmas. Again, the Murfreesboro Christmas Parade is 2 o'clock this Sunday. Also this weekend and the next weekend, from 4 until 8 in the evening, it's Christmas at Cannonsburg, just off Front Street in Murfreesboro. The admission is $5 per person, with children ages 5 and younger admitted for free. Stroll through this historic village and see how Christmas was celebrated. There is free parking located in the large gravel parking lot next to Cannonsburg. You need to take South Church Street to West Castle Street, and that'll take you directly to the parking lot. The Red Cross is still critically low on blood. Please give the gift of life. Phone the Red Cross at 800-RED-CROSS and make an appointment to give blood at a time that fits your schedule. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
Mostly cloudy skies in store for this afternoon. We'll have highs in the mid-50s. Winds breezy turning to the northwest. Tonight, a low of 26. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll for the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center. Right now, it's 46.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Through Sharing Change, MTE members round up their bills to support local nonprofits. Find out more how your spare change can make a difference at sharingchange.org.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Wednesday Roundtable. Tommy West is here today, the longtime football coach, head coach at Chattanooga, Memphis, Clemson, and spent 10 years as defensive line coach here at Middle Tennessee, and now enjoying his retirement and watching his son coach.
Absolutely. What a great win they had Sunday. I never watched pro ball.
Where he's at
He's
now.
at Buffalo. He's
okay.
Buffalo. He's assistant special teams coach with the Buffalo Bills. And I never watched much pro football because we were always working on Sundays.
That's right.
For 42 years. And now I've really started watching pro ball, especially their games, all the time, and have really enjoyed. I always knew, you used to go visit pro coaches all the time and see what, they're always ahead of the game with everything they do. But man, they got what a great game that is. And going to some of those games, I've been up to Buffalo and watched them play, and man, the enthusiasm. I always thought college had the enthusiasm and the NFL was more
Buffalo
business.
has a college atmosphere.
It's unbelievable, Chip.
Buffalo, Green Bay.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I mean, they got it going on.
And the thing, to me, it's people say, well, I like this. You can like whatever you like, but I love watching the NFL, love watching college football. To me, in the NFL, the difference is watching the linemen run.
Oh, God. There's something. Well, I used to call it corporate ball. I used to say, I'm not crazy about corporate ball. I like college ball because there's more enthusiasm involved in it. But now going to Buffalo and watching that game, that's not true. I mean, that crowd, they had a full house, and I mean, they are loud and proud.
And getting ready to move into their new stadium up there too.
Yeah, and being a traditionalist, I hate to see it. That Highmark Stadium is really a neat deal. And I get everybody wants something new, but boy, they got a great thing that they got 2 more games in this year. But yeah, really, and I'm sure the new one will be nice.
Yep, it will be. And well, we were on our soapbox there during the first segment. Now we're going to get the coach to take a look at some of these matchups in the playoffs, and there are a couple of rematches from regular season games, and the very first one out of the gate on Friday, December 19th, is going to be Alabama going to Oklahoma. They've already played once this year. That's the 8-9 game, and that'll be a week from this Friday. What do you think about that one?
Well, to start the season, I hate to say this being a Tennessee guy, but I thought Alabama was going to have one of the best teams in the league. And then, they fell on their face at Florida State, and I didn't even recognize that team. I couldn't believe what I saw.
But they bounced back.
And they looked unenthusiastic.
Yeah.
But the thing they did, they came back and started winning, but they never – I kept saying the whole year, they got to develop a running game. You can't just throw the ball all the time. Sooner or later, pitchers have bad days. Passing game can have bad days because the quarterback's off a little bit. Running game doesn't have bad days. If you've got a running game, it's going to be there. I think they're struggling right now. They limped in on Auburn, and they got killed. Minus 3 yards rushing against Georgia in the championship game. I mean, I think that's going to get them.
And Brett Venables has 2 weeks to get a defensive plan against him.
And he's as good as there is defensively, I think. He's done it everywhere he's ever been. If Oklahoma's quarterback, who was great early, got hurt, has been okay, looks like he's coming back playing a little bit better now, I think Oklahoma will have a good shot to beat them.
Be moving on. Well, and a little side note, I saw Ty Simpson's brother throw for 500 yards in the first half
of
their championship game. All right, the 10-7 game, going to be interesting. Miami goes to Texas A&M, and I fully expect Texas A&M to have a bounce back after their loss to Texas.
I do too. Like I said first of the year, I thought Alabama would be the team in the league. And then right before Texas beat A&M, I said that I thought A&M was probably the most complete team in the SEC. I still think that they are, meaning offense, defense, kicking game. I think they're as good as anybody in the league. And I don't know. We'll see. Carson Beck can be hot and cold.
Yeah,
but I like Texas A&M.
Yeah, and and to give Mike Elko credit, he's got he's done what he's done at Texas A&M. But he's got a little piece of what Duke did this year, too.
He does.
Because he helped set the table over there. Manny, our friend Manny Diaz has done a terrific job there.
And Elko, the thing about Elko, they're always going to play defense. Yeah. There's another, we talk about Venables. Elko is everywhere he's been, they've played good defense.
Yep. The 6-11 game will be on Saturday the 20th. That's a week from this Saturday, and there's your Tulane Ole Miss game. Because of course they're going to make so much of that about Lane Kiffin not being there and not about the kids, which drives me nuts. But the quarterback at Tulane has had an unbelievable year, and John Summerall, you got that's the matchup of 2 coaches who have left.
Is he going to coach the game?
I think he is coaching the game.
I think he is too. I'm not positive on that.
I think he's coaching the game. Summerall is, and who the offensive coordinator has been at Tulane is Joe Craddock, former middle quarterback, and he's done a great job there.
Yep.
Well, Summerall is going to Florida as head coach, but he has hired Buster Faulkner as his offensive coordinator at Florida. But so you got 2 programs who are, kind of, listing a little bit. But that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And I would think Ole Miss at home, even though they don't have an offensive staff, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I guess Charlie Weiss
is he staying to coach the game? I thought he was too.
He is staying to coach the game.
Yeah, and I hope that Ole Miss sees that as their players see it as we're going to prove something to Lane Kiffin that we don't need him to be good.
And I think there's a lot to that.
If I'm Pete Golden, that's what I'm selling. Hey guys, there's no one guy made us 11-1 and made us what we are. Because I think Ole Miss is. I thought A&M was the most complete team because I thought they were better defensively, but Ole Miss is better offensively than anybody in the league, in my opinion. Lane Kiffin, like him or don't like him, Lane Kiffin takes tremendous pride, and I think he's the best that I've ever seen. He picks the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. He picks them personally. Nobody's involved in it but him. And if you look, he lost all his wide receivers from a year ago to this year, and they run by everybody. I mean, they're good. And then he takes a quarterback from Division II that's lighting it up. It's playing as good as anybody in the country. He's really, really good at that, and he's left a really good football team.
But all of the mess that surrounds him is just ridiculous.
Can't help it. He can't get out of his own way. I don't know what it is, but he just can't. He can't leave in the right way. And people,
and I don't understand why people can't just let him go. And have all this drama around him.
But Chip, I think Ole Miss's AD tried his best to help Lane. And everybody was on their AD for the decision he made, but I don't blame him at all. Do you let them stay or do you tell them to go? It depends on who it is to me. I don't think there's one rule. It's who it is. And can I trust Lane Kiffin for 2 weeks around all my players? No. I mean, I don't mean that bad towards Lane.
Right.
But he's going to be recruiting my kids for my players for 2 weeks. So, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, if it's Summerall, who's a guy that's not going to be taking guys because he don't have a lot of players he's going to take from Tulane to Florida, then yeah, okay. But I don't think there's just a rule that, hey, we're not – you got as an AD, you got to stand – sometimes you can't hide behind a rule. You got to stand up and do what you think's right for your program, and I think he did.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's no way he could stay. No way he could stay there.
No.
The other first-round game on Saturday the 20th will be James Madison and Oregon. And again, here's a team that has two different head coaches that have a piece of this. James Madison, the coach who has just left to go to UCLA, obviously has done a great job this year.
Oh yeah.
But Kurt Signetti set the table there at Indiana. But James Madison, it wouldn't surprise me to see them go out and really play well at Oregon.
I don't know. I think Oregon's pretty good. And my problem with James Madison is they didn't beat a Power 4 team this year. So schedule wise, they haven't played anybody.
Tulane did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Oregon's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're going out there and I can appreciate what James Madison has done this year, but again, I don't think they can play at that level.
Okay, there's your 4 matchups and in the first round, and Coach West has looked into the smart pill machine like and it says Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Oregon are gonna advance.
That would be what my thought.
Okay, all right. Now, the 4 teams that got byes, just we'll kind of give a thought on that. Ohio State, they're the 2 seed, of course, and they will play the winner of the 10-7 game, which is could be Texas A&M or Miami, but which will be a great second round game. But Ohio State will host that. No, that'll be in Arlington, Texas, actually. So it'll be at a neutral site, which will take away a little bit of what would be a home field advantage for Ohio State. But man, they're talented.
They are. They're the best defense in the country. Offensively, they're okay. They don't make mistakes offensively, and they protect the ball. But defensively, they're really, really good.
Texas Tech, the 4 seed, is probably the biggest secret in college football, and they will play the likely to play Oregon, the 12-5 winner. But what you've seen Texas Tech, they spent $35 million on their roster.
Yep, that's right.
And but have you had a chance to watch them, and who stands out?
Not until I watched the game with BYU the other day.
Okay,
it's the first time
and they
that
blasted
I've seen
BYU.
They a good BYU team.
Yeah,
that they beat twice this year. The only 2 games BYU lost was those 2 games. Texas Tech loaded with talent. Quarterback's a good player, which you got to have. You're not going to be in the college football playoff if you don't have a quarterback. There's just no way around it. You got to have a decent quarterback. But I tell you, Texas Tech is really good defensively too. And their linebacker just won the defensive player award. But they're a solid football team. Got a running game. That guy's done a really good job. Now he's had the money to do it, but you still got to go get him.
Yeah,
and then you got to coach him, and you got to make the chemistry right. And he's done a really good job. They got a good football team.
Yeah. By the way, the Ohio State game is at the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
The Texas Tech game is at the Orange Bowl. The number 3 seed is Georgia. They will take on the 11-6 winner. That means they'll probably play Ole Miss. Again, that'll be a rematch if that happens. That'll be at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, and when Georgia puts their mind to it, I'm not sure there's a tougher bunch out there than Georgia.
There's not. How about that Sugar Bowl, New Orleans, Georgia, Ole Miss?
Yeah,
that's pretty special.
That's a perfect Sugar Bowl.
Man, is that special? And then the thing you were talking about before with Texas A&M, if they win their game playing in the Cotton Bowl, you think there's any players in Texas? Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Texas had a great chance to be in this thing. I mean, there's a few players out in Texas. But, yeah, Georgia, Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl will be really special. I agree. I'm a Kirby Smart fan. I love his comments.
I just think they're the toughest team out there.
Well, he just finished saying, he just said, if you're thinking about coming here and you don't want to practice in a physical way on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, don't come here because that's who we are and that's what we do.
Yep.
And that's how they play.
Yep.
And that was and they made that a mismatch Saturday with Alabama.
They sure did. And the final, the number 1 seed is Indiana, and that is just the best story in college football.
Wow.
What he has done there is unbelievable.
I'd love to know the secret.
Just think if you were put in a time capsule and woke up and said, okay, Duke is the ACC champion, and Indiana won the Big Ten.
Back when Spurrier won it.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, Cignetti has done an unbelievable job.
What's his secret?
I don't know. I'd love to know. I would think that he's probably a lot tougher guy than we know. Mm-hmm. He's got a good image. He's got a kind of – but I would bet he's a tough guy. His teams play that way.
Sure.
He's had quarterbacks.
And teams don't play tough for coaches who are not tough.
No. You can't run a country club and all of a sudden go out on Saturday and be a tough football team. No, that has to be inbred, and it takes time.
And that's going to be Indiana against either Alabama or Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, if it's it should be good either way. But I like Indiana. I think they're when you can go beat Ohio State, who I thought was the best team in the country. Mm-hmm. Then you're pretty special. So that will be interesting. But I like Indiana. In that one.
All right, there you got through all the playoff teams. We'll talk a little bit about who's going to win it all, his predictions, and pick out a couple of the other bowl games, and we'll talk about that in our final segment with Tommy West here on the Roundtable on WGNS.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
It's the most magical day of the year, and you can watch it all live. Big G TV is where Christmas comes to life with coverage of the Murfreesboro Parade, Sunday, December 14th at 2 p.m. Brought to you by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff. Middle Tennessee Electric, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Woodfin Funeral Chapels. See every float, every smile, and the moment Santa arrives on Big GTV. Streaming at wgnsradio.com/parade.
Every holiday season, MTE joins in the fun, supporting and taking part in local Christmas parades. From Murfreesboro to Fairview to Franklin, we light the streets, celebrate with our neighbors, and share in the joy of the season. Good energy is the heart of the holidays, because it's more than electricity. It's the spirit that powers every celebration.
Merry Christmas, Rutherford County. I'm Kenneth Barrett. I'm running for sheriff in 2026. This time of year brings back lots of great memories of those who have gone before us, those still with us. I love sharing time with my family, friends, swapping stories, and laughing. I've been proud to call Rutherford County and the Sheriff's Office my home my whole life. When elected sheriff, I will continue to work hard, keep our families safe, and serve with honesty, integrity, and heart. From my family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Mills Family Pharmacy.
Here at Mills Pharmacy, we do compound medications.
Craig Buckner with Mills Family Pharmacy.
Compounding medications are prescriptions that are not commercially available, or you need a special formulation. If it's a liquid, suppository, or specialized cream, we make that in our lab.
Mills Family Pharmacy offers a wide range of compounding, all to create custom medications for you.
We're at 2994 South Church Street, next to Toots.
Customized services at Mills Family Pharmacy.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Man, time goes fast when Tommy West is here. It's so fun to talk and catch up and talk about some of this stuff. We kind of went through all the playoff teams. When you get down to the low gravy, Tommy, who's going to play for all of it? Who do you think's going to be in the finals on January the 19th down in Miami?
That's tough. You can't bet against Indiana right now, and you can't. I'd have a hard time going against Georgia.
Yeah.
So
could be Indiana. To me, that they're the two. Well, and I can't say that Ohio State's not tough.
We could have a rematch.
Yeah,
Indiana, Ohio State too. I mean, it'll be. I don't think that Texas Tech or Oregon. I really don't know that they're good. They're both really good.
Yeah,
but I don't know that they're Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's hard to pick.
That'll be. I mean, and that's that's part what you just said right there is part of why you have a playoff.
That's right.
Because
that's exactly right.
and it's great that you don't know. You can't say, oh well, this is the Georgia Invitational or whatever that it's their deal. All right. Before we talk about some of the bowl games coming up this Saturday. In addition to Army-Navy, which is great, the Heisman Trophy will be awarded on Saturday. Who you got, Fernando Mendoza or Diego Pavia?
I'd have to go with Mendoza.
Simply because of the team that's around him?
But here's the thing.
Is there more?
What is the Heisman?
I know.
What's the criteria? Is it the best team, the best player in college football? For years, they said it was the guy that affected his team more than anybody, and that's Diego Pavia.
There's no player that's more important to his team than Diego.
Absolutely. And if that enters into it, then he's the guy. But I don't think they'll do that. I think Mendoza's team being number one in the country will probably enter into it with a bunch of people that are voting, and he ends up winning it.
Yeah.
I don't think Sayans. Even though he's at Ohio State, if he ends up 2, fine. But I think Pavia should probably be number 2. I think he should probably win it. I really do. I think if you sit down and looked at every game and what he's done,
and
to that program, what he's done, And I'm a Jerry Kill fan. Boy, Jerry Kill's come in there and really helped.
Well, you talk about adding a level of toughness.
Oh, my gosh.
And Clark Lee already had that, but
yeah, that's right.
But, maybe the best recruiting job that Clark has done since he's been at Vanderbilt was not Diego Pavia, but Jerry Kill.
No question. Love him. I think he's great at what he does. But again, man, I love Pavia. I just think he's a really good player.
And
he irritates me at times, too, because I'm a Tennessee guy.
Well, I understand that. And speaking of the Volunteers, they will be playing against Illinois in the Music City Bowl. And, Illinois kind of, Brett Bielema has really done a good job of building them up in the right way, I think.
Tough guy, run the ball.
Right.
Run the ball, don't turn it over, play special teams. He's an old-timey, what we all grew up on. I don't think they can score enough points to beat Tennessee, although I didn't think that Vanderbilt would be able to score enough to be. I thought Tennessee would outscore them because I think Tennessee's really good offensively. Vanderbilt, we've talked about Diego, but Vanderbilt's defense got after Tennessee's offense in the second half and totally shut them down. So, but I think Tennessee will have something to prove. I don't think Illinois is as good as they were a year ago. I look at their rushing stats, and they're not blowing it away like they did a year ago. So I like Tennessee in that game.
Yeah, but Tennessee's going through a little transition on defense.
They are. But they're not as good defensively. Banks was on my staff at Memphis, and Tim's a good football coach. They lost some players, and they've got to replace some players defensively. Now, they lost their two corners to start the season, and both of them really good players. They didn't play much at all during the year, so that hurt them a lot. But I think they got enough to win that game.
Yeah, we talked about how Clark Lee handled Vanderbilt not making the playoff and going to the ReliaQuest Bowl down in Tampa. They'll play Iowa, who Kirk Ferentz seems like he's had a bit of a renaissance this year.
Oh, man.
I really like that guy. And, we had the opportunity to go out there a few years ago, and it was fun to see them play this year. But Vandy, Iowa, I think that's a good matchup.
That is a good matchup. Iowa is outstanding defensively, but I don't know that they've seen a guy like this guy. That one will be very interesting because, again, Iowa's really good defensively. But I tell you, Vanderbilt offensively has got the quarterback, and they got some weapons. But that should be a really close game. To me, that will be a hard game to call. Vandy should be really excited. They shouldn't be on a downer because they're not in the playoffs.
Well, and Clark has already set the tone for that.
He did, and he's smart. What he's doing, because that's what he's preaching to his players. He's telling his players, "Hey, we got an opportunity to show them they made a mistake by not taking us." So, there you go.
So the other in-state team, Memphis, they're going to play in Tampa at the same stadium. They're going to play NC State in the Gasparilla Bowl. That'll be coming up on the 19th, same day as the playoffs start. But Ryan Silverfield did a great job at Memphis, and that's a program you kind of keep a finger on the pulse of too.
I do. I don't know how their team will react. They had a funny year. They're limping in now. They've lost their last 3 games. They didn't win in November.
And at one point they were the betting favorite to be in the playoffs.
When they beat South Florida, they thought they were in.
Yep.
But you go back and look at their season. They beat Arkansas, and Arkansas fumbled the ball. All they had to do was kick a field goal and win, and they fumbled the ball, and Memphis wins. Same thing with South Florida. They got a turnover and won the game. I don't know. I think Memphis will have to play really, really well to win that ball game.
Yeah, I agree. There's several games involving Conference USA teams. Missouri State in their first year, they're going to play in the Xbox Bowl against Arkansas State. Kennesaw, which won a great game against Jacksonville State. Yeah. That may have been the best conference championship game there was. and that quarterback is special. They're going to play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl against Western Michigan.
No, that guy did a really good job.
He did
in the last 2 years, really.
Yeah, Jerry Mack.
From starting that from that program not being very old, getting into Division I. I think that he's done one of the better jobs this year.
Yeah, Western Kentucky's going to play Southern Miss. Southern Miss without a head coach, and I think Western, that's going to be down in the New Orleans Bowl, and Western kind of got themselves right toward the end of the year.
Yeah, Tyson Elton's one of my guys that was with me at Memphis, and I just really believe you're talking about a tough guy now. That he's a quarterback, played quarterback, coaches quarterback, but he's a tough guy quarterback. He's always going to have a quarterback.
Well, and he made a decision this year. They sat down the guy they brought in.
Yeah, he's not afraid to make a decision and to do what's right. I think Tyson. I'm really surprised that Tyson's still at Western and that somebody hadn't scooped him up, and I think they will here soon because he's won a lot of football games up there.
Well, another guy Willie Simmons and the FIU ball club. They're going to play UTSA out in Dallas at the First Responder Bowl. And I'll say this about FIU this year. They came in and played great here in Murfreesboro. And for the first time in 20 years, FIU did not FIU up the season at the end of the year.
That's exactly right.
And that's a credit to what Willie did coaching them.
Willie did a really good job, and you're exactly right.
Because most of the time you could count on them in November.
We always play them in November.
And you could count on them to fade.
Yep, and love to get them up here and it get a little colder. But, yeah, they always have, and they didn't. I thought he did one of the better jobs, too, this year because that's not an easy job, and he held that thing together.
Yep, sure.
But
did.
he's done a good job where he's been. Every stop he's made.
When he was at FAMU,
and
he
did a good
Prairie
job.
View as well prior to that. Now, here's one of those bowls that on the surface you say, oh, who wants to watch the bowl game in Montgomery, Alabama? But this year, you talk about one that's going to have a little local flavor that will sell a ton of tickets, and which is what they want to do.
Absolutely.
You've got Troy and Jacksonville State. You talk about two schools that do not like each other.
That's right.
And that is a perfect bowl matchup right there.
I think that'll be one of the games to watch. I'm with you 100%. What a great matchup. Just the opposite of Birmingham, where Birmingham went and got Georgia Southern and Appalachian, who's already played this year. App was 5-7, Georgia Southern 6-5. I don't see much there, but boy, that the Montgomery that's still what's it called now? Is it Camilla?
It's the Salute to Veterans Bowl.
Salute to Veterans Bowl.
Yeah.
They change every year. I can't keep up with what their names are.
That's right.
But anyway, I'm glad you brought that up because that should be a heck of a game.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun to watch. You got. This will be interesting. Clemson and Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah, Penn State, I caught them a couple of times and watched them a couple of times this year. I saw Clemson win early and when they were not good at all, and I was really shocked that their defense didn't play better and that their quarterback didn't play better. He played better in the second half. I saw Penn State play some pretty good football there at the end of the year. Now, what happened there, I wished I knew that. How those guys lost 3 straight games with the players that they've got to the people losing to Northwest, losing to the people that they lost. Something was going on there, and then they fired their coach. That guy that took that over at Penn State's done a good job. That should be a really good football game.
Should be. And a couple of games you have to watch just because of who they are. The Pop-Tart Bowl, because that's become one of the fun bowls to watch because of what the Pop-Tart guys do, and then the Snoop Dogg Bowl out there. It doesn't really matter who's playing in those. But, talk about James Franklin. He's gone to Virginia Tech now, and he has hired back the coach that got fired as his defensive coordinator.
Who did he hire back?
Brett Pry.
Oh, did he hire Pry back? Oh, wow. Okay. At Virginia Tech?
Yeah.
So he's going from the head coach to the defensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
At the same school. Wow. Now that normally I didn't know that. Again, the James Franklin thing. That was something that one of the biggest things to me this year was how that came about. How something had to go on in that locker room or something that we don't know about, because there's no way those guys can lose 3 in a row and then they fire the coach.
And you think they were what? They were leading in overtime a year ago, and that would have put them in a national championship game.
Yeah. I don't know. Something went on there that we'll probably never will know, because I'm sure they've got some stuff in their contracts where they can't talk about it.
No, that's probably true. Now, will you be? Are you going to go see your son coach anymore before the year's over?
I may try to go to. They've got 2 more home games, so I may try to go to one of those. Or I'll just wait and go when it's not snowing and -8 degrees.
Maybe they'll get a playoff game.
Of course, I don't know when that's going to be. I'd have to go to a game in April probably to make sure that it's not doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's all coming up, and I guess one of the things that comes up too is I'm not sure we've seen all the coaching changes, but it's kind of crazy. If you could just all the stuff that we talked about earlier, if you could pick one thing, if you could make a change in college football, what would that one thing be?
Fix the portal.
Okay.
We got to fix it where they can't just get paid, stay a year, and leave. I mean,
gotcha.
There's got to be something where what you got coming back and what you got to go get. To think you got to go get 30 players from the portal to fill out your team. I mean, that to me. But it has. But let me say this. I mean, I'm thinking about the coaches, I guess.
Yeah.
But it hadn't watered the game down.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for coming over.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
It's always fun, and we always have a good time. Tommy West, been our guest. If you missed any of this, and you can catch our smiling faces on Big G TV on YouTube and always on the podcast section of wgnsradio.com. Brian Barrett's next, so stick with us all day on the Big G, WGNS.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.